Here is a comic called Avengers versus Invaders number 3 from 2009, I think it was. This is the variant cover because I prefer them to some bland, lifeless Alec Rose pieces. With that said, the problem with a lot of the covers for this series, and arguably with the story idea in general, is that this is just a picture of the Avengers. Bucky Man was an Avenger by this point. Admittedly, not as Bucky Man, but of the 5 Invaders featured, 4 of them had been Avengers, and 3 of them were still around in the modern Marvel universe. It was needless. The true appeal of bringing a World War II team to the present day would be if they were not characters who were still around. That is the big plot point. The 5 original Invaders have been thrown forward in time, and so far they have fought the Thunderbirds in issue 1, and then fought the Avengers in issue 2. And now we focus on Seaman. He gets a lot of the spotlight in this issue. Seaman from the past. He goes and explores SeaWorld of the future. And with the Avengers, we have 2 different Avengers teams. Both of them Michael Bryan Benson teams. And both of them better written in this than in any of his books. This here is the new Avengers, and they are going to fight the other Avengers to free the Invaders who they captured last issue. With 2 teams in the story, we do have enough characters that I think could make up one good Avengers team. I just didn't like Wolfman, or Luke Cage's, or Iron Fist as Avengers, or Hawkeye as a fucking ninja. We get a little bit of subplot here with this soldier boy. He was brought to the future alongside the Invaders, and he will turn out to be a big part of the revelations with this story. Here he is talking to his future self, who is now an odd man, and learning about what happened after the war. And this tickled my funny bone. We have 2 adverts in a row with Gregory Landsman art. Neither of them very good Gregory Landsman pieces. And this is coming from someone who might be his biggest fan. Seaman is the main focus, as I said. We get a very quick recap of his origin. And look, he has found the Titanic. I didn't see Leo's body anywhere, so this might be a fake Titanic planted by the government to cover up what really happened on the Titanic. And I bet aliens were involved. Our big piece with Seaman is having him meet his current day self. I believe the main cover, the Alec Rose cover, is the 2 seamen fighting. And that is what we get. If you like the character, this is a pretty decent fight. In my eyes, Seaman, he is only any good as a member of a team where he is the jerk who gets beaten up. And so when you have Seaman fighting Seaman, any outcome that isn't both of them beaten is going to be disappointing. And I don't know how I feel about past Seaman winning against present Seaman. I didn't care enough about Seaman to think about it, but it seems pretty bad for a character to have them beaten by a less experienced, less wise, younger version of themselves. At least they didn't bring in teen Seaman and then replace Seaman with him. The far more compelling stuff, the actual story in my eyes, is going on here. The original Human Fire, who is an Andrew, he has come to realise that SHIELD are using robots as soldiers, and we have a robot uprising thing going on, with them seeing him as their leader and their liberator. Meanwhile, Captain America and Bucky Man escape from their cells. And with Captain America, there is a design thing that really annoys me. A mistake. Whenever we see Captain America from behind, his red and white stripes didn't continue onto his back. This was a thing that was noted in Steve Engletine's run. Falcon Man was able to work out that someone wasn't the real Captain America because their red and white stripes didn't continue on their back. So to see that done here with what is meant to be the real Captain America, it annoys me more than it would annoy most people. We do get a bunch of character drama with Iron Man. Captain America at the time, he had been assassinated, and Iron Man was blaming himself. And so here we have a past version of Captain America showing up, and it allows Iron Man to explore his guilt and try and repent for his sins. This series is very beholden to the revamped Bucky Man. Bucky Man isn't a kid sidekick in this. He is a super assassin, elite master sniper, black ops stealth soldier, and it gets a bit too overboard with that and shows him far too much as being superior to Captain America. Another thing we're building towards though is Bucky Man meeting his future self, who is now Captain America, and this panel of past Bucky Man holding the shield is an obvious hint of where we are going. I have never minded this series. I think there is a lot of weird choices made, but I think there's also enough story or character that isn't bad, so I would never consider for a minute it was a bad comic. I remember when it came out, everyone was hating it. They thought it was a pointless, overlong, go-nowhere story. But I always liked it because it had the Avengers, or some of the Avengers, in it. And it wasn't written by Michael Bryan Benson. I probably delete that cloud a lot of my judgment of Avengers comics. If they came out during his reign of terror, I usually gave them a pass just for not being written by him. So, I guess I'll give this one 7 thumbs up.